Hi guys, Miss Christie again. This time, I'd love to show you guys how to place your strips in an order that makes it easy to apply them to your tricordian background. So, as you can see, we made all the folds in our paper here, but we haven't yet glued the upside down valleys from the back side. And I'm not worried about doing that before I attach my pieces. I think what you guys are gonna wanna do, have all your pieces cut. 3 paintings cut up into 1-inch strips. It's nice if you have them in a little neat stack like this. After you cut them, makes it a lot faster and a lot easier to lay them out in order. So these strips are labeled with an L. That tells me these strips are gonna go to the left side of our back spaces, because our back spaces are where the color wheel goes. And we want the L's to be on the left side of the color wheel. So what I'm going to do, turn this way. You can see my first accordion mountain right here. Now, the very first space would essentially be a a strip that's labeled with an R, because if we had a backspace here with a color wheel, this would be to the right of the color wheel. So my L's are actually going to go on my right side of our accordion mountains. So I have L1, 2. I'm just placing each strip above the area where it's going to be glued. 5. You should be putting a piece down at every 3rd space. And the space for the same letter code is going to look the same. So all of my L's go on a downward valley towards the right. And ta-da. But we're not done yet. That was only one painting. Next, I have some C's and some R's mixed up in here. So let's see how we're gonna spread those out, my friends. My R12 is gonna come right to the left of my L12, and it is in that mountain. Don't think you can see it in this shot that I have going right now, but in just a moment, it will be there. Okay, R and C, getting closer. You know, I think if I start at the bottom, here we go. C. C is for color wheel, C is for center. So the C is gonna be placed in the backdrop, right? The backdrop spot, the flat spot at the bottom gets the color wheel. After that, I have R1. Remember, R1 was our initial space over here. If you guys get your R's and your L's placed on the opposite side of the color wheel than you originally intended, that's okay. Don't worry about changing that. The important thing is that you keep the same pattern all the way down your tricordian. So my pattern right now is going R, L, C. So I want to see that pattern repeat all the way down. So I have another RLC segment there. C, RLC, okay. You guys, this part may take some time, and that's okay. You need to know what order they go in before you start the gluing process, or it can get quite confusing. All right, so I have now an R4 is gonna go here. Okay, right there. Okay, and then I have, a C5, excellent. How about an R5? R5. C6, with LC, and then another R. And we have L, CR, LCR, LCR, L, C, and R. Okay, so now I'm organized. I have all 36 strips in order. and I have a pattern. Please make sure you follow the pattern all the way down your Agamograph backing so that you get the greatest visual effects. Now it's time to glue, my friends. Now it's time to glue. You can do this several ways. You can go left to right, or you can start in a pattern. I am going to actually start in a pattern, and I'm going to start with the centers or the color wheels. So those are our strips labeled with the letter C. So I'm simply going to put a strip of glue in each of our flat back spots here where our color wheel or centerpiece goes. Remember, this may take a little bit of time to get the glue on there, but it's important that you put enough glue that your strips stick securely. Okay, so you're going to continue that all the way down. Now I'm placing C1 in the first flat back space. Then I'm going to go to C2 and put that in the second flat back space. C3 goes in the third, and so on. Here's a C4. So now what do you do about your lefts and your rights? Well, we need to get those on there too, don't we? I have 2 more spots with glue already set, so we're going to get the strips in there before our glue dries. And a C6, there we go. Okay, so when you guys are putting your lefts and rights on, I would suggest adding the glue right onto the strips themselves. It's going to obviously stick to the backdrop, the tricordian backdrop, but what that's also going to do is allow the left and right pieces that are sticking up past your tricordian to stick to one another in the back, helping your tricordian hold its shape. So here we go. There's my first R piece, that's R1, and then my first L piece, that's L2. I put glue on 2 pieces, a right and a left, because I like to put those on at the same time. It just makes things a lot easier. I have my right and I have my left. And I'm just going to place them on either side of this first accordion fold and pinch. As easy as that, you guys. Easy as that. Let's see if I can hold this up to show you. Ta-da! So we have our first left and right, and then we have our first 4 centers or color wheel spaces. Continue with your left and your rights on every area, every spot there you see an accordion coming up like a mountain. Good job.